So we had the Bitcoin breakout and now we are currently coming down. I was wondering, we have the CPI data coming out tomorrow, and I think it's very important for us to prep ourselves for this, to look at the two different options. I gave a very strong bullish scenario yesterday. I'm going to be giving a bearish scenario on the show as well. Any warning signs, these sort of things. And I was wondering to myself, like the last time we had two major news from the Fed and these sort of things, the market basically pre-ran it. Remember what I spoke about where the guys were front running? They were basically selling off into the news, and then we were never really getting a big reaction on the news, and we're actually getting reversal of patterns when the news actually came out. And this time, we were just slowly glancing our way up, and now I'm seeing a little bit of red. I'm like, okay, like at least you're showing some sort. Like it's weird how you're not reacting and doing the same thing you've done the last 2-3 times. So what we do have is the breakout. I'm going to give you guys the retest levels on where I think's the healthy position for Bitcoin to retest, to still have the strong momentum to get to the levels that we want to get to next, where the next major zones are, and the major supports that we don't want to lose throughout this time. Will this create a little bit of panic? Anything that comes over 9 or these sort of things with CPI, I think is going to become really bad. We do know at some point there's going to be a reversal in the stock market, but for me, it hasn't hit the major highs just yet. But will it be ruined? And what could actually do? And how are we going to prep ourselves for this? Because maybe like the last 2 times, it creates a dip into a beautiful buying opportunity, and it's something you don't want to miss, because if it holds certain levels, we are still very bullish. And I think let's go through a few altcoins. Let's go through the DYDX as well, as I still think it's very undervalued. And I got 2 or 3 more tokens that I'm also looking at today as well. But the main thing is, what are we doing on if the market explodes tomorrow or if it collapses tomorrow? What are we doing? No more wasting time. Let's get into the show.
Click, click. Have you heard the news? What? With his finger on the pulse, it's like Sheldon knew. Click, click. When the sniper shoots, we got Sheldon on the charts, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, sharpshooter advisor. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. So enter the sniper, click, click, click. Time to be dedicated, sniper mode is activated. Explosions in the market are in target, and Sheldon demonstrates. Mirror, mirror on the wall, Master Sheldon tell us all. We got Sheldon on the chart, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, sharpshooter advisor. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. Enter the sniper, click, click. Enter the sniper. Enter the sniper.
Yo, Banter fam, what's happening? I hope you all have a fantastic day. How are we feeling? How are we doing? Pop in the comments. I want to know how you guys are doing out there. If you are brand new, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. Make sure you're following me on Twitter on Sheldon_Sniper. Make sure on our Telegram group, as we're giving tons of calls and alpha there every day. And if you have a look on my Twitter profile, you will see our newsletter as well, where we give you alpha. I give you 3 charts every day. And a lot of them are the charts after I've done the shows and these sort of things on the more macro scale of the key things that we're looking at. How are we feeling, guys? How are we feeling? How are we feeling? Are we bullish? Are we bearish? What do we think is going to happen tomorrow? What do we think? How are we feeling? Like, what's happening? Are we feeling good trading with stop losses? Fantastic. Live trading. So the next live trading session happens after the CPI. So after the CPI, we've had the erupt of the market. The market does something crazy. One thing I will tell you, that do not have any leverage trades open by the time the news comes out tomorrow. It's a warning. We've seen this many times. Just don't do it. We trade what happens after. Once we get a certain move, we either break support or we break resistance. Something happens and we trade that. We do not trade. The only ones that are active and the only accounts that are basically there to be used is your spot and your long term. Those ones are sitting and you're making decisions on those. But any leverage, any of that stuff, cut it clean. Doesn't matter, because it's going to get tough. They might even wick crazy. The volatility comes in and it makes it really hard for yourself. So that's a little tip for me, from me for tomorrow. Get out of that shit. We trade it once it's done. We're either shorting the crap out of the market or we're long in the market. We'll soon see what happens after that. So first thing, let's jump in here. Okay. So what happened previously is we did get the previous little breakout, right? We had this little wedge breakout, which was a good one. It definitely gave us the higher high that we wanted to look for. And the only thing that happened was when we did have this rally to the upside, we did have an overbought RSI to the top on the 4-hour. And at some point that needed to come down. Now, remember what we use these sort of time frames for is we're actually looking at the 4-hour because it's going to give us analysis on what can happen in the next 24 hours. And I think that's the big thing. I think in the next, I think it's 26 hours, we've got some news coming out. Will it affect the stock market? It will definitely bring volatility in the market. It's either going to create, like the last 2 times, quick dips. And these dips were dips to be bought, because if you bought those dips, you would have made insane gains on the next rally to the upside. Or it can get really rough and we do start to lose momentum on ETH. I think ETH is our leading alt right now. It's got a very tight trend, and it's a trend we want to hold to continue the journey to a 2K ETH, to continue the journey for Bitcoin to the $26, $28 zone. And if we do start to get those signs, it's telling us to start decreasing that portfolio now, start looking at some short-term shorts in that time. And if you do not have better entries than where the market can retrace to, if it gets bearish, you start reducing, you start smalling in your positions. And when it gets down to those zones, you load up again, fill up your bags bigger than what they were previously, basically farming some sort of tokens. And then we basically move on next. So what I'm looking at here is we do have, let me jump on here. Now, I'm actually glad that we are having a little bit of a pullback today, because when we've had pullbacks into news and into these things, it's actually ended up really well and it's worked out better than what it was previously. Like pumping into this news and pumping into this time gets a little bit concerning, because the last 2 times we had this, we had pullbacks in the market, news came out quick, and then we had reversal of trends. Now, what happens, those 2 times we were pulling down. It was pulling down 2-3 days before any big news. What happens this time if it was pumping up and it was going up, going up, going up? Then it's sort of giving us an indication that it's also front running the markets, and it could be a reversal, because the last 2 times have been reversals. So what I'm looking at on Bitcoin right now is we did have the breakout zone, and sometimes, many times you're going to learn in crypto, when it happens too quickly, it likes to come and retest those zones. If it's fast, it won't last. I learned that from Rudo, where something goes really, really quick. And what it does is it actually forms an imbalance area over here. And what that means is they were buying up, but the guys didn't manage to get all the buy up, the amount that they wanted to get. So what they do is they send price back down into these areas. This is where the retail FOMO into these sort of tops. They bring it down to these areas. Retail panics out. They buy the panic, and then they continue the run. But it can also get ugly. It definitely can. We did have this this really big rising wedge, if you want to call it, from Bitcoin, and all that has basically included was the higher highs and higher lows on the higher time frame sort of view. And what I did now was we got the breakout to that area, we got that imbalance, and I basically tracked that. Now, remember yesterday what we spoke about was trend lines, right? Trend lines, track the current momentum we are in. If we lose that momentum, we go to the next momentum. And that's what gives me the 2 major support areas that we do have for Bitcoin on either way it can go tomorrow. We do have one. This is my one scenario that I'm looking at how I'm looking at it playing out today. Is it comes down to this area now, anywhere between 23,300, 23,400, and it basically goes sideways for the day. It basically ranges here for a little while. We wait for this 4-hour to get down, which is showing another 8 hours, 10 hours to get down. So we've bled a little bit today. I think if we look at what we are, -1, -2, -5 on some of the altcoins, we bleed now. We then go sideways for the rest of the day. And we do have this resistance trend that the market just doesn't do anything for the rest of the day. Like, why would they make any big decisions right now, knowing that there's news coming out tomorrow? So to expect the market to pump today, I don't think we're going to get a pump today. But I do think tomorrow, if there is any good news and we do get like an 8.5 or 8.7, even something that is just what the people are expecting, I do think we are going to have a bullish reaction. We might have a short little wick, but I do think we are going to have a strong bullish reaction to the upside. And end of the day, all that I'm doing is tracking that. I'm tracking the bottom there and I'm tracking the top. The break of the top sends us through to the 25K area. The break of the bottom sends us down to the low 22,000s on the next trend. So you can see how I'm basically tracking the 2 specific moves. Now, for me, this is a major support. This is one that I think we're going to hold going into tomorrow. And I basically think that this is what my little scenario looks like. The first scenario will be it goes here, it shoots up now for the day, comes back down, and it basically crunches in this area over here. And then we get a little bit of action, and then we start to make our way to the next areas. That is my first scenario. Second scenario is the market starts to react quite badly now already. It starts to really start to overreact. And what that will basically form is we start to drop these areas. We come up, we test here, and we can be looking at going down to these areas before the news of tomorrow into that specific time. Now, that for me is the last support for Bitcoin for this current uptrend that we've been holding. I am buying support buys. I'm not missing the trends of previously. I am, though, tracking stop losses and these sort of things with these as well. I see some guys were saying they got stopped out and these sort of things are trades, which is fantastic because you should be happy today if you got stopped out because it's lower than what it was. But you're also putting your stop losses on really small time frames. You're not putting them on major ones. Remember, if it's your long term and it's your spot trading account, put your stop losses on really major breaks, not the small little stupid ones. That's only if you're leverage trading or short term trading or these sort of things. So we do have that option now of us also dropping that today and coming down to the low 22s. For me, looking at the stock market, this is the big one for me because the stock market's in like no man's land at the moment. And I do have a momentum line, and this is one that's very important to track because when you can see what I'm doing here, I'm tracking this momentum and I'm tracking this trend line to the upside to see where the stock market's going. Where it's stopped right now doesn't make sense. It stopped in the middle of, it broke those resistances there. Like, why would you stop here? For me, I saw a bit more upside in the stock market first and then a decent sort of correction. I do think probably August is probably a red month. I really do. I think the second half of August, I think we do have a bit of redness. I think September, slow grow. And I think October, we start raging again and we start having a decent, proper relief bounce that we've been looking for. But here, for me, like, I think stock market does the same thing today. I think it comes down and plays around at the support over here. I then think we rage up to these areas. That's Bitcoin making its way to 25, 26K. We then start offloading some of our bags, taking some sort of profits, and then expect the worst. And we will expect the worst of a lower low, of Bitcoin going down to crazy lows, even going back down to 19K, 20K. We can expect those things to happen. I just feel that there's a little bit more run in the market before we actually get there, because right now they've just stopped in the middle of nowhere. So the way I'm trading is I'm getting out of smaller positions after, if there's any little push on Bitcoin today, let's say any bounce on the support. I'm getting out of short-term trades, definitely closer through to tomorrow and these sort of things. And I'm waiting for either of these trend lines to break. Let me jump into the 4-hour here and show you guys. There's the two trend lines. We break this area over here. Bitcoin's coming down to low 20s. Okay, that's where I'm looking at. Okay, shit, where can I get a little bit more of decent altcoins? The ones that I've been waiting for, Cardano, DYDX, all these sort of ones, which I'll go through for you guys shortly. Or we basically have the next scenario where we bounce here, bounce up here, and tomorrow after CPI, we get the breakout. Then, end of the day, you want to know, am I going to get altcoins cheaper now? Are they going to get cheaper? So should I wait before I'm buying more and adding more to my bags? Or what are the two different signs? And that's the same thing. If we break the top here, they're not coming lower. We're breaking out. The market wants to shoot strong to the upside. And if we lose this area over here, wait, things are going to get a little bit cheaper and these sort of things. Now, let's quickly look at the dominance. So dominance right now is bouncing a little bit when Bitcoin is pulling back. Makes sense, right? Altcoins have outperformed Bitcoin in the last few whiles, and this will be strengthened to Bitcoin when the market starts to turn a little bit bearish. So it just means we're in the same thing of do not chase altcoin pumps. Don't chase any altcoin pumps, because when there is pullbacks in the market, the altcoins pull back a hell of a lot bigger than Bitcoin. So still be aware of that. Do not, you're buying retest, you buy pullbacks, you buy the red, you do not buy the green and chase pumps, because the pullbacks are very aggressive and they're going to shake you out and it makes it a really uncomfortable ride. So that, for me, is still at a very critical level. What is interesting about the dominance, though, is if the markets turn bullish and this thing turns down, remember, we did drop a very critical support with dominance. We dropped these lows over here. And this was an incredible zone for us to drop, because after that, we bounced on the last support, and the next support is all the way down to the last bull run lows. So that's really bullish for altcoins, especially if this market now goes bullish and Bitcoin starts to break. So always keep that in mind with all of that. And the last one that I wanted to show before I jump into the altcoins here is the Dixie. The Dixie is coming down. Quite interesting. Quite interesting. It has rejected where we wanted to, and if it goes to a chart standard and a way of TA, we should have a really strong rejection from the Dixie here. We should get a lot of downside from here down. So that should be bullish for the market. Should be bullish. What do you guys think? Do you think tomorrow is going to be bullish or bearish? What do you think the news is going to come out? Definitely no financial advice. Definitely no financial advice. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? You're eating too much chocolate. What do you think? Bullish or bearish tomorrow? What do you think is going to happen? Serious. I'd love to get your guys' inputs. Bull, bull, bull. Low CPI. Bullish, 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 bullish. Holy shit. I've never seen this much bullish in a very long time. Bullish, 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 bullish. There's one red here. From the charts, I'm bullish, bro. We're going to see huge candles. There's not many bearish. That's quite interesting. That's very interesting, actually, to see that there's not many bearish people out there. Okay, very, very, very bullish. So if you guys are thinking that, prep for it. And whatever goes wrong or something goes this, prep for either way, but prep for it. If you're bullish on it and the market turns bullish, like, you better make money. Don't miss it if it does turn extremely bullish. Very important. Let's quickly look at total market cap, and then we can look from here. So total market cap is still in trend. It's still in trend right now. No major warning signs just yet. Keep this in mind. These are the ones we're keeping an eye out. The same like I was speaking about ETH. If we jump to ETH over here, there's ETH over there. It is close. It is on support right now. If I do this trend properly, there we go. So it is close. So you can see we're getting to very much crunch time now, where we've had a little bit of red reaction for the day, but we don't want much more. We don't want much more. If there's a little bit more, we can see a little bit more downside in the market. But for now, let's keep an eye on this. From tomorrow, we're going to know. We're going to offload some of our bags. Market's bearish, guys. Or it's bullish as shit. We're going to be looking at the next one. So ETH for me, danger zones. I don't really want to go back to 2,600, any of those just yet, especially if we want to see the 2K ETH first before all of that. So I'm not buying right now. I'm not buying. I'm more prepared. The way you got to look at this is everyone wants to buy. We're going to know if we must buy after the CPI and we've had the movement. Then we're going to know. We buy more now, we offload these sort of things. Right now, focus on the bags that are in the market. Focus what you have in the market right now. Keep eye on that. Keep track on that. Where are my danger zones and where am I looking at next? So ETH is close to that sort of line. We have Solana sitting in the middle of nowhere. Solana is great for me. Any buys 39. I've been through a lot of these guys, and I'm not going to go through too much more of them right now. We got NEAR, which is still looking incredibly strong. And if you want to know that if there is a pullback tomorrow and these sort of things, where can these coins go? Just go track their momentums. And it's showing that NEAR still being in trend if it comes to 4.9 is still bullish. And these are little areas you want to add. I hope you guys didn't chase the NEAR pump. We got the buys over here. Don't chase the pumps. I hope you took a little bit of profit when I said when we get to those areas. I hope you took. We've been calling it spot on. So make sure you're listening to the calls every day and you're doing, you're focusing and adding it to your strategies. There's NEAR over there. Let's just go and see if there's any warning signs. Phantom for me is coming, supports in these zones. Let's have a look. There we go. So Phantom for me is in the support area. So none of the alts are losing any trend just yet. So it's getting interesting. Waves was going to break out, didn't break out just yet. Cardano coming to test support. 50 to the 51 area is the next support over there. So nothing has broken trend just yet. We don't really have any of these tokens breaking trend just yet, and especially any major trends. Here's the major ones over here. So I think what's going to happen tomorrow is I do think there can be a possibility of a quick spike to the downside. And I think as long as we don't break any of the major trends, I'm taking advantage of them. I'm adding in more. Now, I've been through a lot of these, so I'm not going to talk about them today. I'm going to talk about them all tomorrow, the ones that I've been speaking about. The ones that I'm quite interested in right now is I'm actually adding a little bit of a smaller altcoin bag because they didn't run for me just yet. They didn't run for me just yet or any of these things just yet. So I'm actually prepping to actually build a little bit of a small bag on this pullback, the smaller altcoins, not more than 5 to 10% of my portfolio. But I really feel that these are the ones that are doing they're crazy levels right now. And I feel that when Bitcoin, if it has a good relief bounce and a good push to the upside, I feel the small alts, we're missing them. And I think we're going to jump into them too late when they already break. So the first ones that I'm looking at is definitely ZIL. Definitely. This one broke out for me. And you basically got two ways you can look at the breakouts. You got the wick breakout, and then you also got the closing candles. So it basically gives you an area that we can be looking anywhere for this pullback, bringing it to 42 to 44. But I'm actually adding some in my spot position here for ZIL. Now, ZIL finally broke out of this flag here to the downside. It finally got its first higher high in play here. And I feel ZIL's got good legs. I feel it's one that hasn't run just yet. And I still feel that the market's always going to move in that same scenario of Bitcoin, ETH, major alts, micro alts, these sort of things. And ZIL for me is still a small cap coin, in my opinion. It's still a smaller one, a little bit higher risk. So I'm not putting as much bigger percentages, but this is definitely one. So on this pullback, I'm loading up, and I'll probably actually buy some now while I'm here. Spots. There we go. I'll actually buy some ZIL while I am here. Remember, guys, if you are signing up any accounts, so you no financial advice, any of these things, we got BitGet, we got BYBIT. They give you sign up bonuses, $4,200 on BYBIT. You choose which one looks really good for you. By using this link, you get the sign up bonuses, you get the discount fees. It supports the channel. And I'm using Binance for my spot trading. I'm actually creating a spot trading account for you guys that I can trade. I just want to see it's on the right one, yeah, that I can trade a spot count through these times. So we can see the differences between how our leverage accounts perform, how our spot accounts perform, all these sort of things. So I'm going to put ZIL up here, and I'm going to definitely buy up some ZIL on this pullback here. So right now, this account that I have here is filled, and I'm actually going in quite a bit here. So you can see I put 20K into this account. I need to log in again. Okay, I'll log in. Then I'm buying the ZIL, but I put 20K into this account, and right now it is filled up with DYDX. It's about 70% of it on this specific account. Reason being is I missed all the other altcoins, so DYDX is the one that I'm looking at as really good bullish counts, and ZIL. I'm definitely adding ZIL to that as well. So ZIL is one of them that I'm adding to it. The next one, which is there going to be a breakout buy? And this comes from a bullish sign tomorrow where the market breaks out, is Ultra. This one for me, I think is going to be great. Like, look at it. Like, for me, look at this. It's incredible where this thing's actually come from. And what I actually have marked here is the closing candles. You can see the closing candles here. So the market turns bullish tomorrow. I'm going to see this creep up. And if I see a 12-hour close above this, like, I'm going in strong. I got a stop loss under the lows back in the trend. But from here, I'm looking at Ultra go back to 50 cents from where we're at now. Now, this isn't anything compared to where it's come from. But for me, I see 50% gains. So I'm looking at the ones that haven't done it just yet. And it looks like it's the smaller caps. We all have the major caps that are out there now and these sort of things. So I'm looking at taking advantage of some smaller caps. So Ultra for me is definitely one of those as well. I'll only be buying on a confirmed breakout. So draw this trend line, take a picture here. It's on the 12-hour, and a closeout here is where I'm loading up on Ultra. I think it's one that hasn't run just yet. We have Arweave. This will also be a breakout. So these smaller ones, the only one that I'm buying on a retest now is ZIL, but the rest I'm not buying on a retest. I'm buying on breakouts. But keep this in that eye now. Next one here. If Arweave breaks this tomorrow and we close outside here, I think Arweave's going to have a run. And the next resistance is $22. You know, the breakout level will be around $16. So 25, 30% for the next one. So Arweave is definitely one I'm buying on the breakout. I'm not trying to catch this bottom here. I'm not buying it here now on any of these areas. I'm buying it. We break out tomorrow if the bullish scenario plays out. Remember, if the bearish scenario plays out tomorrow, we focus on where we're decreasing our bags, getting rid of the risk. But if the market explodes tomorrow, what are we buying? What are we getting into? And remember, if some of your coins have made you tons of money and made you a lot of money in that stuff, there's nothing wrong with taking profits on a coin that's done well and buying the next one that's going to break out. So you're not getting out of the market, but you are taking profits, which is a really powerful strategy. So ZIL, the next one, smaller cap for me, is Super. Super, I'm going to take a small long position if it comes anywhere near 16 cents. Just adding up a little bit of a bag, but not a lot, because it can drop and the markets can turn bearish. But ideally, what I'm looking at for Super is the break of these closing candles, this area over here tomorrow. If this breaks out, Super's finally breaking through its last resistance over here. And I'm looking at Super return and get back to 25 to the 30 cent mark. So it's one I don't want to miss. Who knows? Guys, we got to stop counting out this thing that the market, if Bitcoin goes to 28K, altcoins are going to rip. Like they're gonna rip. Like we're gonna see crazy, and especially the smaller alts as well. So I'm prepping for that too. So super's another one. Only breakout of this area over here is when I'm interested, but it's something I'm prepping for tomorrow. So you can see I'm not making any big action moves today, but I'm ready for tomorrow. I'm prepping for tomorrow. And same with Gala Games. If Gala Games tests over here, I'm happy. And if it breaks this resistance over here, I'm getting in. Gala Games, I'm adding in definitely. So you can see I'm starting to add a bit more. Now, the other one is the gaming tokens. This one is definitely one that I'm getting ready for tomorrow as well. Vulcan Forge, you've probably heard Hustle speak about this a lot. This one for me, like look at these patterns, guys. As a chartist, this is the patterns that you want. Because when you crack these areas here, like you see crazy growth. You see crazy amounts of potential to the upside and how quickly these things wake up. It's weird. Something about charts just gives you areas on when you know volume's going to come in. And volume comes in when we break out of these areas over here. So the next one is Vulcan Forge. Tomorrow we break out of these areas and we close above, I'm in. And we have one test, which is literally 50% away. If the market's turned really bullish, we're going $7. Now you're talking 70, 80, 90%. So Vulcan Forge, definitely add that to your list as well if you want, and you've done your own research. Let's have a look at if there's any other ones that I was looking at. We've got Sandbox. This is a beautiful wedge, a breakout tomorrow. I'm in on Sandbox. I'm in on that because it's finally, look at the pattern. Do you not see that the small caps are making it all the coins I've just shown you now, don't they look the same? They all look the same. Like, look at this. They look the same. So it's showing us something that we've had ETH move, major alts, some of them move, and these sort of things. Like the gaming section and the smaller caps, they haven't run yet. And I think this is where we got to pay attention if we really want to be above the rest and, being prepared of where we're getting at next. So you can see Sandbox there as well. The next one here for me, I hope it pulls back because I had it ready for you guys for earlier this morning, is RSR. Also a small cap, and it rips. The market's turned bullish, like it rips. This thing does really, really, really well. Guys, no more. I'm not doing anywhere near more than 5 to 8% on these tokens on my whole portfolio, but I'm filling them definitely. Because what I saw in the last bull market is that we had like 10% in these smaller caps. And when the market went good, even for like 3 months, like that 10% becomes like 40% of your portfolio because it just outperforms everything. Like it's crazy. So RSR is the next one. I'd only be loading up if it's anywhere between 0.0068 and 0.0074 in that zone. So it's about 5 to 7% down from here is when I'm loading up. If we get that, I'm buying that because I'm looking at a basic 50 to 80% move on the next upside for this one over here. So that's on RSR as well. Now we do have, are we buying Theta on this pullback?
Definitely.
Are we?
Always buying
Yeah.
Theta on the pullback. Looking at all the small, me, I like my small cap coins, and looking at all the smaller caps in the games that you just went through now, it looks like they're all forming reverse head and shoulder patterns. I was noticing now on all the charts you were showing, they've basically all got a reverse head and shoulder patterns forming on the 12 hours there.
They are. And I think the last one, if you can maybe get ready to put your charts up and stuff, is DYDX. I spoke about it yesterday. Now, doesn't this look like all those coins as well? But the difference with this one is it looks like it's starting to actually get somewhere. So even though we are pulling a bit slightly, we're still above support right now. And I can see DYDX going to 2.27, these sort of areas as well down. These are not leverage entries. Guys, no leverage until tomorrow after the news. No leverage. None of these calls are leverage. None of them are leverage. They're all spot and long term. But DYDX, I'm still adding up and I'm building a position on this. I still feel it's one of the most undervalued, and this for me is a really, really good break and something that I'm really getting into. So definitely DYDX is one that I'm in right now. Have you got your charts?
I do.
So guys, yeah, okay, you can chat about that, and then we can chat about the competition and what's happening with the live trading shows and how it's going to work and how we're doing the $400 challenge and what's the new structure, because we're back, baby. We're back.
It's so exciting. Everyone thinks there's not a lot of work that goes on the back end, but there is. We're always working on this, so it's great. So Theta, yesterday we did say we did draw this trend line yesterday. And I did say to the guys that if we break this trend line and you're in profits, take your profits, because obviously what it does, as per usual, it will break down, come back up for the retest and come back down. Now, for me, I have another trend line over here, obviously on a higher time frame. I do have different levels on theta. The first level I've got over here, the support, which is at around about 144, 145. We can possibly come down just to the 150 zone. That is this support trend line over here. So basically what I just need everybody to do is let's get rid of that line because we already broke that line and we already tested the support. So we know what happened there already. So the possibilities of theta coming down, bouncing off the support is there. But there's also a possibility of theta breaking this line because this is a stronger support for me at the bottom here at 143, 144. So the possibilities of theta actually breaking this line, coming down to the support, bouncing, going back up to retest that line is a high probability of happening. And obviously depending on the news tomorrow and how far it moves down. You can see it is looking quite weak at the moment and is wanting to drop. So I'm keeping an eye. I'm not in a trade at the moment on theta. I am waiting to possibly see if it breaks this line over here. If it breaks this line and comes down here, I will be taking a long in this area over here, but I will be exiting my long over here because there's definitely a possibility of theta coming down a little bit more to the next support zones as well. But the best way to keep an eye on it for now, I think, yes, let's wait and see. Theta's had a big run, but everybody just draw your trend line and wait for the trend line to play out. If we come and we come to this area and we bounce up and we break this trend line, we're probably going further up.
Make trading easy. It's actually easy.
Yeah.
We complicate it.
Yeah, because it can basically come here, be rejected, come back down here, try go again. So we just follow it to see where does it want to stop. So just draw this trend line over here. It will give us an indication as to which level it wants to stop at. And that's it. That's the basics for now. We'll obviously relook at it tomorrow again as well after the news. But for now, my biggest possibilities, I think it's coming down to the 144, 145. That is where I am planning on buying at the moment.
Okay, amazing.
Yep.
I see there's a small echo. Okay, cool. So I think that's it for today. Like, let's let it play out. Tomorrow we have a massive altcoin list for you guys. I'm doing all the BTC pairs. I'm doing everything. I just want to see what happens. Once it happens, we're going to look at the next game structure. We're also getting ready for the live trading shows, and we're looking ready for these things. We are going to be playing. Rand keeps giving me shit and telling me that he's going to beat me at trading and these sort of things. He knows I've been taking a break. He knows I've been doing lots of stuff. So like, I'm ready to get back into it and I'm ready to think. So like, guys, we have this trading competition. And if you want to be a part of it, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We're giving up to 100K back to the community. It's going to be a nice way to get the live trading going again and getting, I want the positive vibes up again, guys. Let's start this thing again. Let's get it running again strong. And Mom, how did they join there? I see there's still 18 days left for people to join.
Yeah, so there's still some time. So just under the video, the links, you just go down to the BYBIT Trading competition. You click on this link. It brings you. No, you don't need a new account. Just use your existing BYBIT account that you've got with either Sheldon, Run, or any of the other hosts. As long as it's one of the hosts' links, it's all fine. And then you just scroll down and you just register. And all this register does is links your account to the competition. So when the competition starts, your account is linked, and then the competition starts, and you can just go and read all the details is there. So just go and have a look. Yeah, but register for now so that you're signed up and ready. And especially this is going to be great with the live trading that's coming as well, and you stand a chance to win some money. So yeah, it's amazing. It's quite exciting.
Cool. Thanks, Mom. I think let's cut it here. Let's not run the show too long. Let's wait for the news to happen. So guys,
to the women.
Happy Women's Day in South Africa. It's Women's Day today. So happy Women's Day to not only the ladies in South Africa, to all the ladies in the world. We love you all. We appreciate you all. You guys keep all the men together and you make this world still survive. I think if it was just men, we'd all destroy ourselves and it'll be a very crazy world. So to all the women, happy Women's Day. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Men, spoil a woman. Make them coffee, make them food, look after them, buy them flowers. When last did you buy a woman flowers and chocolates? I haven't done it for a while. I better get my ass to the shop and go buy them. So buy my lady some stuff. Yeah, when last, guys? When last? I might even take her for a movie. I think I'm gonna do that. So guys, no live trading show. No live leverage trading into the news. Get the small positions out. Protect yourselves. And keep aware of your spots and your that. If the market turns bullish, we're getting ready for it. At least my show tomorrow is before the CPI, so we'll go through it a lot more in detail again on what we're doing. And then after that, once the mess is done, we're then going to look at a live trading session as well, either tomorrow night or the day after, once we have clarification. I want to hit a streak again, and I don't want to lose. That's just how my mentality works. So I'm going to make sure I'm very positive on the next trades that I'm taking. But until then, love you lots, Mom. Love you lots, Banter fam.
Have a good day. Bye.
If I could turn back time, if I could find a way.